You're watching Ride the Teacups, and today we're going to show you how to pick the best hotel for your Walt Disney World vacation. It's no secret that planning for Disney World is a stressful ordeal. There are so many details to go over and so much planning to do. We want to help you break it down and make everything as easy as it can be. We're actually going to bring you this entire series of videos that we have to help you plan your family's Disney World vacation. It'll take you 30 to 60 minutes a day, 1 day a week. Super simple. You only have to plan 3 months in advance instead of 6 months or a year. And we want to break it down just the stuff that you need to know so that everything can be as easy as possible. If that sounds like something that you would find useful, hit the subscribe button right down here, a little red button right below the video. We would love to have you in our Teapot family and help you get these videos so that you can plan your family's vacation with confidence. And if you like what we're doing, maybe hit a thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. We really appreciate it. We're actually trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2021, and we would love to have you along for the ride. On to the hotels! Part of the reason why choosing a hotel for Disney World is so difficult is because there's so stinking many of them. Disney World has over 24 hotels. Those are just the on-property ones that are owned by Disney. That's before you get to anybody else's hotels. That's bonkers. We're gonna help. Let's start off. We're gonna show you kind of the geography of how Disney World is laid out, and then a few details of the hotel, and then we'll kind of dive in deep and show you how to really find your best option. So let's get right into it. First thing I'm going to do is try to find a few things with Google search. So let's drop you down into my web browser, and we will search for Disney World hotels. Disney World, oh, I want the map. Disney World hotel map. There it is. Maps of the resorts for Walt Disney World. So here you go, folks, just a very basic and small map of Disney World. Let's start off by showing you some of the Disney World geography and where things are laid out. That's going to help you make the best decision for where you want to stay. So here we have a basic layout of the entire Disney World property. You have Magic Kingdom up here to the north, kind of all by itself. Down here in the middle, you have right next to each other Epcot Center and Hollywood Studios. And then over here to the west side, you have the Animal Kingdom, also kind of by itself. Not as isolated as Magic Kingdom, but if you are into the water parks, right here on either side of the Hollywood Studios Epcot Center area, you have the Blizzard Beach here on the west side of those properties and Typhoon Lagoon here on the east side of those properties. And then on the far east, you have Disney Springs. That's a big shopping center. And if you're a sports fan, the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex is down here to the south. So let's take a look at some of the options that we have around the hotels. So let's start up here at Magic Kingdom and zoom in. So there's a few things that I want you to see up here up close. So first off, you can kind of see this black and white dotted line. This is the monorail track, and it is connecting Magic Kingdom here with the Contemporary Resort first, and then down here to the Polynesian Resort, finally to the Grand Floridian, and back up to Magic Kingdom. Those are the only 3 hotels that are actually connected on the monorail. And folks, these are all very, very expensive. Basic rooms, you're going to look at around $400 to $600 per night. If you want something like a 1 or 2 bedroom villa to stay in that has like an actual kitchen and laundry and all that type of thing set up, you're looking at $1,000 to $2,000 per night, depending on the season that you go. Now, for those of you who have a larger budget, that might be awesome and exactly what it is that you want. So no, you can get close to Magic Kingdom. But if that is outside of your budget, just understand you're probably not going to be that close to this park, much like our family, and that's fine. Now let's zoom in here a little bit. If you're not able to get onto one of these 3 properties connected by the monorail, I can go over here by the lake and actually see a few docks that are set up. Here on the west side, I have the Disney's Wilderness Lodge. These two are actually going to be named very similarly, so I want to be very careful with the name. The Wilderness Lodge is over here just below the Contemporary Resort. It has a dock that will actually take you into the Magic Kingdom area, and you can get there by ferry, by boat, which is pretty cool. These are going to be quite expensive also. You can actually reserve an entire cabin just to yourself if you want to, though. Pretty neat. And over here on the other side, you have the Disney Fort Wilderness Resort. That's going to be very different from the Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Very similar, both of them have wilderness in the name. But over here, you have what is very possibly the most reasonably priced area to stay on all of Disney World property as far as Disney is concerned. You can actually bring your own RV and you're set up camping here at Disney World. Yes, you can go camping on Disney World. It's pretty neat. You have all these different spaces that are reserved for your RV, and it's all right here in the Fort Wilderness Campground. You'll also notice that there's a dock right here. Again, you can actually use a ferry straight into the Magic Kingdom and get you pretty close. If you don't have an RV that you want to hook up and you still want to stay here, they have these really awesome, these are actual full cabins that you can reserve. These are really reasonably priced too, actually. We were looking for our family and found a cabin around $250. That'll depend on the season and everything else as well. But around $250 per night for a whole cabin. That's multi-bedroom. It has a little mini kitchen and things set up. Really cool. This is a bucket list item, but it's not one that we wanted to hit right away because, guys, from the cabins to the docks, look at all of this walking that you are going to end up doing each direction. Can't even see the water yet. All the way, there we go, to the dock. That is a lot of walking, and at the end of a long day at Magic Kingdom, we've got kids, little kids. That's not for us. So just going to be a thing. Also, we have heard reports from different sources online that the Wilderness Campground is one of the most obnoxious places to get bus transportation in and out to all the various parks. So just be aware your transportation situation here at this campground might not be the best of anywhere else that it is that you want to go. But if you're not worried about getting there exactly at rope drop, maybe this is a great option. If I go down south a little bit here, let's look at the area near Epcot Center. So here's the actual Epcot Center Park, and then right next to it you have this huge series of hotels and other resorts. You have things like the Beach Club, the Yacht Club, the Boardwalk, and those type of things that are right here. And then right next to it you have the Dolphin and the Swan. These are also going to be kind of higher end hotels on your budget. They're not going to be as ridiculously over the top as the Magic Kingdom ones, but they're close. So again, you're going to want to have a large budget in order to actually take advantage of any of these hotels. They are gorgeous and they are right next to Epcot. The other thing that I want you to notice about Epcot is this little trail here. This is actually the Skyliner route, and I want to follow it a little bit. Go straight from the Epcot entrance over here, across the street, hits over here to the Riviera Resort area, down south to the Caribbean Beach Resort area, where you have this huge switch building, and then it goes straight into Hollywood Studios across the way. And then going south from the main area here, you have the two last hotels, the Pop Century here on the right side and the Art of Animation on the left side. Pop Century is going to also be one of the best value resorts as far as price is concerned on all of Disney World property. There's a lot of things to like about Pop. Initially, you're just basically getting a bed and a bathroom here. The rooms are not terribly fancy. Decorations are very, very basic. It does have an enormous food court, which is really nice. Plus, it's got 3 different pools, which is appropriate for the size. And this is where you're going to have like the enormous 3-4 story tall Rubik's Cube and Baloo and Toy Story things and all those type of things inside the actual hotel resort, which is kind of neat to see. It's called Pop Century. It goes through all of the different decades. Decades are actually decorated differently inside of each area. And then over here, the Art of Animation Resort actually has very specific rooms themed to things like The Little Mermaid and Lion King and Cars and several of those other type of things. Pretty neat rooms also set up, and really important, they're right next to the Skyliner. And you have access to Skyliner access. Skyliner is going to travel, like I said, to Epcot Center and to Hollywood Studios. You also have bus access to the Magic Kingdom and to the Animal Kingdom Resort. And finally, these two are kind of centrally located in front of everything. So if you are looking for the cheapest trip that you can get while still having good access to everything, these are kind of the number 1 and number 2 spots for that. Really nice on your budget. But I also want to go up north of the Skyliner area into this switch track. So this is kind of the main building for the Skyliner. It goes down south to those other 2 hotels, goes out west to Hollywood Studios, and goes up north to hit Epcot. And right here next to this area is going to be the Caribbean Beach Resort. There's the title. Now, something to know about this switch station is that everyone who comes into this building must get off the Skyliner. What that means is that if you're coming from the north area, you have to get off and then get on the new Skyliner in order to go over to Hollywood Studios. That's a new line that you're getting into. If you're coming from the south, from the Pop Century and Art of Animation, you're going to get to this area, get off, get in a new line in order to go to either Epcot or to Hollywood Studios. But if you are staying at the Caribbean Beach Resort, you're not getting off because this is your main station. So you want to factor that in. It's a lot of time convenience. It's one less line in order to get in the parks in the first place. And frankly, that much earlier you get to sleep in. Caribbean Beach Resort also has arguably the best pool on property. That's debatable. I may have just started some fights with people, but we chose it for the pool. So I'll show you that as we actually get into some of the hotels. But I just want to give you a basic overview. Again, as we go over to the side here to the Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is kind of by itself. There's really only one resort to stay at that's anywhere near. That's the Animal Kingdom Lodge. This is going to be one of the most expensive properties on all of Disney World. It's amazing. If you have the budget, I'd say it's well worth it, but many of us don't. So just be aware. If you're spending an awful lot of money, this might be something that you want to consider. If you're trying to save money, stay away. And then finally, just to mention it, down south here over by the sports complex for ESPN, on the other side of the street, you have 3 different All-Star resorts. So first up here on the top, you have the All-Star Sports Resort. In the middle, you've got the All-Star Music Resort. And finally down here at the bottom, the All-Stars Movies Resort. These are going to be very similar, just the different theming, but the actual rooms in themselves are going to be kind of plain, again, a little bit more on the lower end, but they are not connected to any transport other than the buses, so be aware of that. We've also heard from just different research online that the food options here at the All-Star Resorts are not the best and not really comparable to the other hotels in the area, even things like the Pop Century and the Art of Animation. So just be aware you're going to be on a bus for them, and that's 3 resorts all right next to each other with only one way of transportation, and you're all kind of fighting for that bus. So this might be one where you have some better options unless you are super, super, super into sports, music, or movies. All right, so that's kind of a basic overview of the geography and just kind of an overview of a select few of the hotels. There were several that we left out, but if you're going kind of for your first trip, they're really the ones that you want to consider. If you have a large budget and like the Magic Kingdom, you'll consider these 3 areas: the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, or the Polynesian. If you are coming with an RV, you're going to want the Fort Wilderness. If you're trying to stay on a budget, you are going to want the Pop Century or Art of Animation. If you have a slightly larger budget, we're talking $50 more per night and want to skip that Skyliner transfer, Caribbean Beach Resort. And if you really like the Animal Kingdom and have a large budget, you can head over here to Animal Kingdom Lodge. So I'd say as far as starting out, those are some great hotels to do with. Just throw the other ones out, limit your choices. You'll be very happy with what you've chosen based on your budget. So let's look at these a little bit. I'm going to zoom in to the Animal Kingdom, and here's how we're going to actually decide what it is that we want. So if I can actually click on the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it will show me all about it. So I can see the Animal Kingdom Lodge has something called the Savannah View. The Animal Kingdom Lodge itself actually has its own savannah, its own view of the animals that is different from the theme park. Now that's pretty cool in and of itself. If you want to wake up and actually see a giraffe right out your window as soon as you wake up, that's unbelievable and very expensive. We can actually see some photos here, and I can see this is what the Savannah room is going to look like. Beautiful bathroom. You can see everything is upgraded and looks super, super nice. Wonderful balcony. There's the Savannah right outside your room, guys. That is amazing. Now I can also look at the amenities of these different hotels and see everything's going to be very basically the same across any hotel. There are just going to be some basics that every hotel room has. So you have a hairdryer, the internet comes with a coffee maker, telephone if you use a hotel telephone. The in-room safe, ironing board, and mini fridge are basically going to be anywhere, even like the low-end hotels all the way up to the super fancy ones. Those are just kind of basic things. You have the additional amenities down here inside of each room. So 2 queens. This has the option of 2 queens or a king, and you can see all these different options and things that they include in addition to those. All right, so let me get back to the map here, and let's look at something a little bit different, like the Caribbean Beach Resort. And now here I can see I've got the featured room is apparently the king bed. Standard view allows a 5th sleeper in some very select rooms, which is kind of nice. You can get that extra party member in there with a bonus pull-out twin. Our family is actually taking advantage of that. The preferred room is just kind of closer to the amenities, things like the lobby, transportation, things like that. And then the standard view is not. And you can see some basic photos of these rooms also, just to kind of give you an idea. So this is a bit more plain, kind of what you'd expect. Just has 2 beds in the middle, bathroom down there in the back. kind of a standard fare. You can see the fifth sleeper has that pull-out twin. It's really cool with the Disney artwork behind it. Generally, you're going to have some type of table and chair setup and very basic bathroom with a separated shower tub. Very standard for each of those. And you can see here in the Caribbean Beach Resort, you're looking standard fifth sleepers, $288. Preferred room is $348, and a lot of these are going to be unavailable. The nice thing about the Caribbean Beach Resort, they also come with this pirate room, which is really cool. If you want something a little bit extra and you're staying here, you can have your room decorated as pirate ships, which is pretty neat. So obviously you can see the bed are all made up, have the mast with the cool lights over here for your bed lights. The carpet on the floor is actually the map from Pirates of the Caribbean, the circle one that can move around and see different things. You have an actual curtain to the bathroom area that's all themed with pirates as well. And even things like the cool table and chairs are themed off of Jack's compass. To get through this, you have, instead of just a regular nightstand, they're dressed as barrels. Your fridge is also inside of a barrel type of thing. You can see the compass set up here with the chairs, and even these are actually cabinets, pull-out cabinets that are dressed as just pieces of cargo from the dock. So really cool if you're looking for something a little bit extra. The pirate room is a really cool option. One thing to know about the pirate room, and the reason we did not pick it, is because the beds are doubles and not queens. So it says it can sleep 4 adults, but those are going to be kind of small adults. Now let me zoom in a little bit closer here and show you a little bit of the art of animation and the Pop Century. So you've got kind of your standard rooms. You can see the cheapest by far, and we can just look at a few photos of these also. So again, it's just very basic. Your doorway, it's got a bed. This actually pulls down into the second bed. So again, you have your table and chairs area. And then your bathroom back here in the back part of the room, again, like you would expect elsewhere. It's going to be, again, very standard. You've got a sink, separated shower tub. For the price you're paying, you're basically getting a bed and a bathroom. And that's maybe enough for a lot of people because you want your focus to be in the parks. So just be aware that that's what you're getting at Pop. And it'd be fairly awful if we didn't go just across the street from Pop Century and look at the Art of Animation Resorts. These rooms are going to be decorated a little bit differently with a little bit more Disney flair on its things. Let's hide the COVID response and see some of these rooms. So you have the Little Mermaid standard room. You have family suites. These are going to include multiple bedrooms and a living area, which is pretty cool. Your suites are going to be for Lion King. There's Cars and Finding Nemo. And then your standard room is going to be the Little Mermaid. So let's look at a few of these photos and kind of show you how it's different. So you can see it's not just painting the walls. Your chairs are actually shells. Everything looks like it's under the sea. You've got Flounder and Sebastian up there on the side. Again, just kind of a standard bathroom back there. You can see even the furniture is designed with a Little Mermaid in mind. And we get back in here, again, just very simple sink and then separated shower, tub, toilet area in the back there. I'll show you a little bit about the Lion King. Also, it's going to be very similar. You see the bedrooms have this cool Lion King theme with all the artwork that's on the walls and around you. More of a that they've picked. And then their bathroom, again, same basic functionality. You have a sink and then a separated bathtub and toilet, but you can see it's more decorated with a Lion King theme. And then you're going to see the same thing with the Cars and the Finding Nemo. You can look at all these photos and see what it is that you're looking at. And again, you're seeing even for the basic, that's going to be a little bit over what the Pop Century offers for those decorations. Now this means if your family is really big into any of these properties, Little Mermaid, Lion King, Cars, and Finding Nemo, maybe this is something to consider, but if those aren't the best movies for you, maybe skip this. All right, so we've shown you an awful lot of the rooms and how to find them. You can look at these photos in different areas and each of the different hotels you want to check out. We encourage you to do your homework. That's going to be a big deal. Doing your homework and not just relying on this video, but you want to dig in deeper and find all the things that you want. All right, so I've got a couple of different ideas that work for my budget and my family and the space that I need and the number of beds that I want. So let's go in and look a little bit deeper at things like the pools. Now I want to actually tour these places, so I'm going to jump on YouTube and search for the pools. So let's search for Pop Century Pool Tour. And I can see I have a lot of different options up here. You can check out each of these if you want to. Let's jump into just this top one and see what it looks like. Now I'm very basically going to kind of skip through these. If you're interested, you can check out, this is the allears.net page and you can kind of see everything. I don't want to take away a view from them, so go ahead and check it on your own, but you can kind of see they are very large pools. You can kind of see a little bit of how the resort looks also, but they're very basic. So I'm not seeing things like the ornate water slides or things like that. I'm just kind of seeing basic pool areas. Now that's an awful lot of fun. That should be totally fine for you. Just kind of know what it is that you're getting into. The Pop Century has 3 different pools. There's the main hippie pool, as they call it, a big, huge, wide open area. Again, you're going to have something that's very basic. So just different things that each of the different pools offers. So definitely go on and check out these things just so you can kind of see what everything looks like. So Pop Century was one option that we had. Another option that we had was the Caribbean Beach Resort. So let's go back here and look for the Caribbean Beach Resort pool tour and see what that brings me. So it looks like the top one here is Mouse Steps. Again, I don't want to take anyone's views, so search for these on your own. Do a lot of looking around. Find the one that's best for you. But guys, you're about to be blown away. This is incredible. This is their pool, guys. That's amazing. So it has their hours and everything that's available, and I can see, oh my goodness, you're almost getting a mini water park. It's like you're swimming in the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's incredible. Kids play area with the water that actually falls down and splashes on the entire playground and kids' heads and everything. Check this out. See everybody running for cover down here? Gets the whole playground. So cool. Lots of slides, little slides, medium slides down over here. Cool pirate flags. I can see some other slides and things that actually go into it. So this pool is obviously a little bit different. If the pool area is something you're looking at taking advantage of, this is a big consideration and actually got us to book the Caribbean Beach Resort for our family. And then if you're even thinking about going on the higher end for those type of things, we can look at something like the Contemporary, which was another resort we were looking at more on the higher end of things, just to see if that's something we want to do. Now, this first video that comes up is Katie's Kingdom. So again, you can check out her channel and her video. I don't want to take away views. I just want to kind of peek. Watch this whole video if you can, guys. Get an idea of the pool area. A lot of them have different bar areas or just very simple snack shops that are nearby the pool, you'll see. So we've got this cool fountain here in the middle. That's actually a hot tub there in the middle of it, which is kind of cool. The big, huge pool area. I'm not seeing it here. I believe that there is a slide here in the Contemporary. It is kind of nice that you also have access for anyone that needs extra accessibility concerns into the pool. That's really cool that they have the chair lifts for you there. So another thing to watch out for. It has a slide that's there also. It looks like the Contemporary here has some cool beach volleyball and those type of things too. So this is a neat hotel, but my kids are really young. They're like 5 and 2. So being able to swim in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, way more appealing for what we want. The pool area that we found here at the Contemporary is actually kind of a deal breaker compared to the other options. We're saving half the cost by going to Caribbean Beach Resort and getting a way better pool. So that kind of sealed the deal for us. It may not for you, but again, check out these YouTube videos, do some searching, and find exactly the place that you want to go. And then one last thing, guys, when you finally have the exact place that's set up, you've got your budget set, you know the number of beds, you know the amenities and things that are there, check out some reviews to make sure that you are actually getting what it is that you're expecting to get. So I'm just very simply searching Walt Disney World, whatever hotel name, and then the word reviews. I want to skip anything that is actually a Disney website and go down here to something like TripAdvisor, Disney Tourist Blog, the Points Guy, allears.net, Fodor's, Mouse Hacking. Those type of things that are not affiliated with Disney are going to get you very realistic staying there. So I can kind of get in here and see the Contemporary Resort has a 4 out of 5 stars with 4,000 reviews, 3,500 reviews. And just a very brief overview, I can see people love the location. Again, this is going to be on the monorail track to Magic Kingdom. No surprise, location is very, very high, but it looks like people were not as big a fan of the value of the hotel. So what you get compared to what you're paying for, kind of lacking a little bit. I can also go a little bit deeper into the individual reviews by scrolling down. I can kind of see what people are actually saying. Nice, resort, and convenient. There's 4 stars, and you can kind of see what everybody says. So look for some really good reviews. Look for these negative reviews, guys. Know that these are isolated cases. Obviously, if the resort itself has 4 stars and you see a 1 star, this is not the normal experience for most guests, but occasionally things can happen. So just be aware of different things that people had issues with. See if maybe that's an issue for you. Maybe what's an issue for somebody else is not an issue for you, but read up on these reviews. And you can do this for each different hotel. Instead of Contemporary, I want to look for Pop Century. And I could see the same thing, and generally you're going to see the same list of reviews here as well. Again, there's TripAdvisor, that's where we just were, Disney Tourist Blog, Oyster.com is new, allears.net, those type of things. You'll see a lot of those pop up. You can also see a lot of those reviews on YouTube and actually get room tours. For example, the Caribbean Beach Resort Pirate Room Tour. Whenever I look for room tours, these guys, the here with the ears, always show up first. I really enjoy their reviews. So again, do this homework on your own and see what it is that you're looking for. But they will actually walk you through, and many different channels do exactly this. Show you a little bit of the grounds and then walk you through the actual room itself. So you can kind of see what you're looking at for the Caribbean Beach Resort, the pirate room that they got into. And I can kind of see, here's them walking through and actually taking a closer look at what we saw in the photos. And of course, the big reveal of the beds and things that they had, which is really cool to be able to see kind of their reactions to it in addition to kind of their full review, because they've actually stayed here. They know what it is that you're going to get when you're there. So there you go, guys. When you are 11 weeks out, when you're 3 months out of your vacation, I want you to start looking at the different hotels. Find what works with your budget, for your family's space, the amenities and things that are important to you, and the transportation options to and from the park. And this type of research should really only take you about 30 to 60 minutes tops. So one day a week, just do this really quick, knock out an hour and look up a whole bunch of these different hotels, have conversations about what's important to you, and pick one. And then once you have your hotel picked, that is going to lead you into step 2, which is coming next. So if you're not on the playlist already, make sure you get on the playlist, because it'll actually show you all of these steps in order. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching our planning video for Walt Disney World. We really appreciate it, and we hope that it's really helpful for you, showing you 1, what to expect, and 2, helping you get a little peace of mind. If you liked the video and found it useful, we'd really appreciate a like, and hit that subscribe button, because if you liked our planning, you're not going to want to miss what happens next. Thanks so much for watching. Here's some other ideas for you. We will see you next time we ride the Teacups, which will be soon!